Welcome to My School is Your School. This is the program that connects Montgomery College with the community. I am Gloria Bonilla. And before I forget, I would like to guide you or direct you to a number where you can call for more information if you want to come to study at the college, if it's anything you would like to do and you've been thinking about and you are not certain how to do this. The number to call is 240-567-5000. This is the response center for the college, for Montgomery College, and it's open and serving the public Monday through Friday from 9 to 5 in the afternoon. So today it is my great pleasure to have with me someone that I met many years ago in the community. And she used to work for Impact Silver Spring, and I was invited to go and visit, representing the college to help the participants of the program. And I met my guest, Noelle Haile. Welcome to the program.
Thank you, Gloria.
So here we are. You said, are you sure you want me to do this? And I said, yes, I want you to come. I want you to tell the community how, all this happened, because I think it's when we met, you were studying. You previously, you told me, Gloria, I started at Montgomery College, and now I'm doing this. You were working for Impact Silver Spring. And then recently, about 3 or 4 months ago, we met again, and then you told me what you've done since the last time we have spoken. So here we are. Did you see yourself being here, where you are in terms of your education, where you are in terms of how you make a living? Tell us.
No, I think I wanted to be too many things at the same time growing up, and I did not plan this path at all.
Yeah.
As you know, I went to school at Montgomery College. I started my education here in Montgomery College and then transferred to University of Maryland. I was taking a major information systems at Montgomery College. Mm-hmm. But after a while, I realized it was not for me. And I used my electives to explore many different avenues to see what I might like to be my career. Yes. And realized that the things that interested me most were things that raised my social consciousness, per se, and let me learn more about what's going on. And with that, when I transferred to University of Maryland, I chose to design my own major, which was great. What a great option that was.
That is courageous. It is.
It was a good option to have, especially if you don't know what you're doing and you just have an idea of what's interesting at that moment. So, and coming from, I come from Ethiopia, so there's a lot of talk about the whole development, and international development is pretty big around, our country.
Outside the United States,
yes.
It's a big,
So when I think of international development, I was thinking, why is this seen through a siloed lens of different disciplines? Mm-hmm. And this is a while back. So.
How long ago it's been, Noelle?
I graduated 2006. Mm-hmm. So. When I got there, I wanted a major that was multidisciplinary. And so that's what I sought out to do. So, and then I took my bachelor's degree at University of Maryland, started working for Impact Silver Spring for almost 8 years, and then now I'm working for the Mid-Atlantic Equity Consortium.
That is incredible. When we met, you start telling me all about this, and I said, oh, Noelle, listen, we need to make time. And I said, we need to talk more. So after our meeting, you came to, and I'm already thinking, oh, Noelle needs to come. I need to talk to Noelle. The community needs to hear her story. But because I think it's so important for us as individuals who came from outside the United States and I'm very happy to see all of us, making a life in the United States. And 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 giving hope to others who are probably recent arrivals to the United States. You know, all this package about, you know, you have to learn English because, you know, is the language of the United States. And then you have to educate yourself, and you've done all that. And I think courageous in terms of you developing your own program. This is for someone to think that you can do that. It's like, well, it's hard enough just to go to school sometimes, you know.
Yeah.
This is amazing.
Yeah. It's interesting because a lot of universities now offer that option. Back then, it was hard to find that out because you choose what's available. But I was also very lucky that I spoke English before coming here, which helped my transition in the U.S. a lot, because I was already fluent in English
before coming to the States.
Before coming to the States.
That is a big plus.
Yes.
It helps a lot.
It helped a lot.
Yeah.
So
would you finish your this own program that you made your own recipe for this program at the University of Maryland?
Yes.
And then after that?
So again, the things that interested me were things that raised social consciousness, and diversity was a big thing that I wanted to see work. Especially Ethiopia has a lot of cultures and a lot of ethnicities.
That was, to me, learning the number of languages you have in Ethiopia that I thought, my goodness.
Yeah, so the thing of bringing people with diverse languages and diverse cultures together as one was a goal of mine, to understand how that could work.
Yes.
And Impact used to brought communities together.
Yes, yes.
And so I found something local here, which I could do what I liked. And so I worked with the community, bringing the community together and ensuring everyone has a good quality of life. And moving on to MAEC, it is ensuring education for all students, regardless of where they're coming from. And that is an important piece of success for everyone, to live a quality life. So somehow everything fell into place, is what I'd say.
Well, you see, someone recently said to me, talking about that, how we all find our place, you know, and he says, well, Gloria, I think what happens is that you either attract people or you look for something that you want, and when you find it, it's the best thing that can happen to you. I tell you, I enjoy what I do for a living. I'm very fortunate that I'm doing what I do, and I think it has provided me with a way to find solutions. Similar to what you're describing, in terms of, you thought, this is what I think I would like to do with my life, and you start looking for that. I think and I go back to what you just said, you know, you develop your own program that you pursue, and there was a university that allowed you to do that. I think if we look for that thing and what that purpose, and I think it's a great thing.
And I think it's also important to remember, you don't really, hindsight is much clearer. I mean, when I was in it, I was still saying, this is actually what I want, but is it? You know, you go through the motions, a lot of trial and error.
Yes. But we learn.
Yeah, we learn.
We learn, Noelle. And I think it's many times we don't try something because we're afraid to fail. But listen, sometimes there is not a sure thing. That's just me. I mean, obviously. And I'm not dispensing, advice here. But I think well, you tried and said that didn't work. I've done this all my life, that I thought, I would like to try this. If it doesn't work, well, I would try something else. And I've been very fortunate to find individuals who I present ideas and they like to support me. So that is a good thing too. So what have you learned? So you're now working for this organization.
Yes, Mid-Atlantic,
And their focus and mission is?
The mission of the Mid-Atlantic Equity Consortium, which is a mouthful, so it's MAEC, we call it MAEC for short, is to promote excellence and equity in education for social justice. So one of the things we do is we house one of the 4 equity assistance centers in the country, and is funded by Title IV of the Civil Rights Act of 1964.
Yes.
So
That was the other piece of when, when we met, then I thought, I can't believe this. So, and now Noelle is working this.
Yeah.
I think it's because when we look at education in the United States, and in terms of about the advancements that have been done, and I'm thinking we still, when you listen to the news, you hear the news, and there's some places in which this doesn't exist. There are places that need a little bit of improvement or more work, but one question, I don't know if there is an answer for this, is that, obviously everybody's trying to do something. What exactly your organization?
what we do?
What you do in terms of you provide what kind of do you do trainings? What do you do?
We
Research?
do technical assistance and trainings
Yes.
to schools, school districts
Yeah.
In our region, and we work with schools and school districts with professional development for teachers, for administrators, for just entirely the school community. We look at the needs of the schools. We co-construct what the goals of the professional development is with the schools. This is important because schools also do a lot of work on their own, and they have different interventions come and go. So we start from where they are, we learn what they need, and we develop professional development and technical assistance services for these schools and school districts and trainings.
So this is the schools will go to you, or somebody else outside the school says, I think there is an evaluation that takes place before you enter the picture of the school.
We are requested to come into a school or school district. So we come by request of the school or the school district.
The school
or the state.
Okay.
Yes, it's local or state level. They ask us to come in and provide the service. And we go in and talk to the school. We have a lot of planning meetings, and we do conduct needs assessment and to climate surveys and things to really understand where the school is at and what they need from both the parents, the students, the teachers, and the whole school.
In order, so you have 4 centers in the United States.
Yes.
The center, you're located in Washington, D.C.
We're in Maryland. Our headquarters is in Bethesda, but we conduct work in 15 states on
this side, the
on
region
the
that
East
you...
Coast. But we also include Kentucky as well as Puerto Rico and the Virgin Islands. So all of the East Coast plus that.
And in terms of looking at equity, and your organization look into that, how equity in terms of funding going to resources allocated for the schools, is the distribution of resources of equity at what level?
So equity in terms of education in the classroom and how students gain education once they're in school. Our services are free when we're requested and coming in through the Equity Assistance Center. So what we look at is equity of, say, there's achievement gap between students.
Right.
Different, as you know, education is impacted by the background of the students that come into the school and how we do that. So we come in and see what's happening in the school. Is there inequitable practices in disciplines? There are inequitable practices in many different areas. But we try to bring best practices to schools and train teachers and administrators and educators on it. But they do, so we also highlight what they're doing good already. And we bring in more research-based strategies that we've learned, and then we share that with them. If after you are called and you go and assist,
and you provide with the training, the technical assistant. You do everything. Is there, and after you leave, do you do a follow-up? Is there a way for you? That's the end of it. There is, do you think our work is done, or?
Yeah, no, change is not a one-time process. We think about the best way to do professional development is by embedding it and over the long term. If we can, that's the kind of thing we prefer, to work with schools over the long term. You can't expect change to happen by doing one workshop or one training. We do coaching and support online, in person, as well as through phone calls, and we help give advice and support as much as we can. We are really invested in the success of a change initiative or a school that we get into. So it's not a one-time. It's more than that.
Well, you see, for a layperson like me, that I'm not doing that work, and probably for someone listening to this in the future or watching it, then I think we'll have all these questions. How does this work? And I think it's with reference to equity. You just mentioned the achievement gap, which is something that is in the news. You hear it here in the county. You hear it coming from politicians. That there seems to be a difference in how students perform in school. And either leaving from secondary education, all these different levels of education. And the other mix into the soup is the fact that we have the demographic has changed, and they have changed for a while. But I think it's now. I think there is is that you cannot deny it. There is this change, and it has been here for a while. What have you learned from all this in terms of the change in demographics and probably what you see in the schools in terms of different groups, different nationalities, and all that? What's going on in the schools? We hear from schools within the county and within the proximity in the Washington D.C. area, but I think you have a broader perspective since your organization is nationwide.
Okay, so that demographics is changing, and that comes with its pluses and its minuses. But it's great that it enriches our education, but also we have to improve our professional development, teaching to meet the cultural demands of that student population. If you have a diverse group of students, how do you reach them, and how do you make sure you have relevant and sustaining practices that is relevant to your student, that's inviting to your students, and that's also it brings its own challenges, and but that's what we have, and we have to adapt to that.
Your organization does also research. So obviously when you go and you serve and you assist, you have by now, how long have the organization been running?
We are celebrating our 25th anniversary in November.
Okay. So you have gathered quite a bit of information there.
Yes, we have. Yeah.
Okay, so in terms of findings, say the achievement gap, what does reflect? Where the possible factors are? I mean, we're talking now recently. I'm more hearing here about the youth the disconnection youth have within the schools or outside the schools. What's going on? What have you learned? What do you hear? Can you shed some light here? Because we talk amongst ourselves, and we have all these big questions, and we would like to help our students. We want to help our communities, and we think, what can we do? And that is where we are.
So here's the thing. There's a few things. One is what we hear is there's engagement in terms of how are we engaging our communities and families outside of school and within schools. So we, as you say, there is a diverse group of people that are students. We have different student population, means different families and different cultural expectations of what school is. For example, when I come from, education is a responsibility of the school. You send your students in school and they learn and you come back. It's not the same here. There's a high level of engagement expected from the families as well. Yes. And there's a lot of information, there's a lot of resources, but you need to be engaged. And how do you get engaged? There's language barriers. There are, unless you engage parents and families in a way they understand, is the forms that they fill, what is available to them, they need to have it in a language they can understand. That's one of the things we hear. And the other piece is, I found surprising, is schools are also getting, I think, more segregated. But it's not everywhere, but it is a trend. There's a good report called Brown at 60. It's from the UCLA project at the Civil Rights Project at UCLA. It gives you good data and statistics on what's happening within schools there.
Segregated in what way, Noelle?
Schools are becoming either of a predominantly one racial group. So some schools are predominantly African American, some schools are and Latino, and some schools are predominantly white. And we're seeing a trend, and this is something when we celebrated Brown, the desegregation was something that we were hoping to do in schools. So there are a lot of factors. There are socioeconomic factors. There's already things that are inherited systematically that persist. But yeah, there are different factors affecting schools right now. So that's some of the things we're seeing.
And this segregation that you mentioned about is self-segregation. These are students or people who they're chosen to, or pretty much they feel that they have to.
I don't think it's a choice. For the most part, you don't choose to have if you are living in a diverse community, you'd hope your schools would reflect a diverse community in your population in your schools. So some of the schools that when I went on a site visit and saw that there's predominantly just African American or Latino students, that was a surprise to me, because we live in a county that's extremely diverse.
Yes.
I'm not saying that this is a county or the others, but this region entirely is very diverse.
It is.
The Washington, D.C. metro area is a very diverse school.
It is incredible to me. And yesterday, one of the, talking to someone else says, she's from outside, and one thing that she's an immigrant, came to the United States about a year and a half or so, and one thing that she shared with us, and she said, it is incredible how the college, referring to the college, how diverse the population is here, the student population. She said, I would have never been met people from so many places on the planet, but for the fact that I live in a very diverse county, but also that the college is a true reflection of the changes in the county.
And that's what I feel like. Both my experience at University of Maryland and Montgomery College has been of a diverse population. So I haven't gone to school K-12 in the U.S., so my expectation was it's the same in all schools in the U.S. Well, things that you don't know. But working with MAEC, I've seen that that's not truly the case. And there is a lot of commitment to change that, but it's also a lot of hard work. And there's also resistance to it too. So.
Isn't that interesting? And I wonder if that's, one of we social beings, and that we like to be in an environment that is familiar and everything has to be
Yeah.
changed is something that even though we realize that is there all the time, we want to have and keep it in a way that it's not going to change too much.
It's comfortable.
It's comfortable.
What you
and
don't know
that
is not.
yeah.
What you don't know is not comfortable.
So if anyone wants to read, reach out to your organization, you know, seeking advice or help from you, how can they get in touch with you?
Well, our website is a great place to start.
Very good. Yes.
So
yes.
if you go to www.maec.org, we have all the we have resources, we have webinars for folks who want to learn about issues and learn some of the things we've done. And we have papers and publications. You can sign up for that. And there's a lot of resource there.
Good. Is there a phone number where
Yes.
they can reach your agency, your
Yes.
organization?
301-657-7741.
301
657
7741.
41.
Good. What advice, what will be your, we're almost running out of time, what can you tell the community? Because I think you're an incredible model for a lot of us, for many of us. Yeah. What will you tell? What message can you send the community?
There is information out there. There's help and people who are trying to help. Reach out and support each other, I think, one. And ask questions.
Yeah.
If you're in a school, anyway, ask questions. There is information and resource and support waiting and available. So, and call us. Call us, reach out to us, and we'll be very happy to help in any way we can and connect.
You know, it's incredible, Noelle, that recently I heard that a lot from my guests, and that is coming from counselors, coming from teachers, sending this message to potential students, so the students at the college, and said, do not keep that question to yourself.
Yes.
If you need help, go and look for help. Yes. For parents, for students who are out there, who they know they need help, please do it. And it's true, because I don't think you will be where you are if you haven't asked questions, right? No. So, Noelle, thank you so very much for responding to my call. I do appreciate that.
My pleasure.
I know that that you were a little bit nervous, but you see, this happens. This happens.
So, just one more thing. We're doing like an education equity award. So, if you want to nominate, there will be information on our website. For our 25th anniversary, we'll be doing that. So if you know, for anybody who's
to reach out and enter the name of the person. Good.
Yeah.
Thank you so very much for coming.
Thank you
so very much. Well, dear listeners and dear audience, we ran out of time. Thank you so very much for tuning in. Remember, Montgomery College is here and open and available to all of you. Please reach out to us, look for us, and like Noelle said, don't keep it to yourself. You need help, come. Knock on doors. We're here to assist you. Again, this is Gloria Bonilla. It has been a pleasure. Take care, and until next time. Bye now. Thank you, Noelle.
We've had the old and the new, and now the fast and the slow.